The City of Plymouth City Council special meeting for Thursday, September 28th is now called to order. In-person participation by the public is permitted. Anybody who's listening and wants to join Zoom can do so by following the links on the agenda. And this meeting will be recorded. At this time, we ask everybody to silence all cell phones or similar devices. Can we please have a roll call?
Councilmember White.
Here.
Councilmember McLaughlin. Do we wait? Okay.
I'm here, no audio. Sorry, Marianne. Councilmember McLaughlin, can you hear us now? There we go. I can hear you now.
Okay. Do you want me to say it again? Councilmember McLaughlin.
Here.
Vice Mayor Sim.
Here.
Mayor Ackerlin.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Typically, we would have the Pledge of Allegiance, but we're going to wait and do that during the regular meeting. So item 2 on the agenda is approval of the City Council special meeting agenda for tonight, September 28th, 2023. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda for tonight, the special meeting agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. Could we have a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember White.
Aye.
Councilmember McLaughlin.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Sim.
Aye.
Mayor Ackerlin.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you. On the consent calendar, we have item 4.1 to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of August 10th, 2023. 4.2, approve the minutes of the special meeting of September 7th, 2023. 4.3, approve resolution 2023-38 regarding AB 361, making finding necessary to continue to conduct Brown Act meetings virtual. Do you have a motion to approve? Excuse me, first let me open this to public comment. Is there any public comment on the consent calendar? Nobody here at City Hall? Anybody on Zoom?
There's nobody else on Zoom.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
I'll make a motion to make a motion to approve the consent calendar, 4.1, 4.2, and 4.3.
And for, thank you.
I'll second that motion.
And can we have a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember White.
Aye.
Councilmember McLaughlin.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Sim.
Aye.
Mayor Ackerlin.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Item 5, council staff communications. For this meeting, we're gonna skip this part. And so with that, I adjourn the special meeting. The City of Plymouth City Council regular meeting for Thursday, September 28th, 2023 is now called to order. For those wishing to participate via Zoom, please follow the information on the agenda. This meeting will be recorded, and at this time we ask you to please silence all cell phones or similar devices. Could we please have a roll call?
Councilmember White?
Here.
Councilmember McLaughlin? Here. Vice Mayor Sim?
Here.
Mayor Ackerland?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. At this time, we'd like to invite the Boy Scouts up to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So if everybody would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Will everybody please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item number 2 is to approve the City Council regular meeting agenda for tonight, September 28th, 2023.
I make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
It's been moved and seconded. Can we please have a roll call vote?
Councilmember White?
Aye.
Councilmember McLaughlin? Vice Mayor Sim?
Aye.
Mayor Ackerland?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Item number 3 is for general public comment. Under provisions of the California Code, the City Council, citizens wishing to address the council for any matter not on the agenda may do so at this time by completing a speaker submittal form to the Deputy City Clerk or following the instructions noted on the agenda. Speakers will be called by the mayor at the point on the agenda when the item is to be heard. Speakers are encouraged to keep comments to 3 minutes or less and state their name and community of residence. Under provisions of the California Government Code, the City Council is prohibited from materially discussing or taking action on any item not on the agenda unless it can be demonstrated to be of an emergency nature or an urgent need to take immediate action arose after the posting of the agenda. Do we have any general public comment? Is there anybody on Zoom? Okay, thank you. Item number 4, presentations, proclamations, and appointments. Item 4.1, proclamation in remembrance and honor of Valerie Kleinfelter. I'd like to open this for public comment. Is there anybody here in City Hall who'd like to please come up?
John Campbell, Kirkwood, California. Valerie's my mother. Valerie's community service started in the late 80s when the then supervisor John Begovich appointed her to a recycling policy committee. After the family purchased a home in Plymouth in 1991, she immediately realized she wanted to be involved in the decision-making process which would shape the future of this town, and became involved in the town's politics. By the mid-90s, she was elected to the council and became its mayor for the first time in 96, I believe. She would go on to hold this position again a few times in her life. Other accomplishments of Valerie's included chair of the Central Sierra Planning Council and Central Sierra Economic Development Agency, chair of the Central Sierra RC&D from 2003 to 2019, president of the Amador RC&D, president of California and Nevada Association RC&D Councils, vice president Pacific Rim Association RC&D Councils. She also managed public projects including water projects with the California Department of Water Resources, economic development projects with the USDA Rural Development, various conservation projects with the Sierra Nevada Conservancy, and once, at the request of the Obama administration, she got to represent rural California at the White House. It's pretty not long list of accomplishments, and she cared about this town immensely. And I hope that we work to preserve her legacy and work as a council to have better decorum sometimes, and work to make sure that all the voices in the town are heard, not just the loudest that sometimes bully on social media and other venues. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Are there others here at City Hall who'd like to make public comment? Okay.
John Coburn. It's with a heavy heart that I'm here tonight to speak about our good friend Valerie Kleinfelter. She was very, very involved with the community. She was very vocal in all the projects she was involved with. A pro or con, she was very, very vocal, and she was always working for the benefit of of her community. And I wanted to point out just a couple of things where Valerie was on this moving end of something. One of them was back in the 90s. There was an opportunity with the Burke Ranch subdivision to make there was this proposed 300-unit trailer court where Center Homes currently is. That would not have been a positive thing for the city because the revenues from trailer courts goes back to motor vehicle fees that go to the state annually and don't come to the city. And basic bottom line, they're most of the time negative. She successfully worked with Kevin Stewart and for many, many months, and worked out a development agreement for them and to put that into grapes that benefited the tourist and the economic base of the city and the county. That was just one of the things that she had done. She was very involved. I remember she was very involved when we were designing an Indian Creek Reservoir project, which was the alternative to the pipeline and tie-in with AWA. She was opposed to that the tie-in with the AWA that was somewhat forced by the federal government. They wanted us to go that direction, or they were going to recall the grant that we had. And Valerie fought that very hard, and she was very, very opposed to it. Had we not joined AWA today, you would probably be getting your water. The water rate payers were 40% less than what they are today, and it's going to keep climbing. It's one of the things that Valerie had the insight to fight for, and she was right. She then went to work with the Central Sierra Council after she left here. I remember one of the projects that she was very involved in and got was not for Plymouth, but for Fiddletown, which is responsible for getting the sewer system plant in Fiddletown. And she was just involved in all kinds of things when she was on the council. Prior to the Rotary of us being involved with the Veterans Park, she was one of the council people that proposed to make that park the Veterans Park in the first place. She's very involved in that. And of course, following up, she was involved with the Purple Heart deal with the veterans. So those are just a few of the things that she was very, very right in and very strong on. And it's just, when I think about her, I just think all the time that she spent working for the community. And I've never, ever seen any reflection of anything that was done for Valerie's benefit. It was always for the community. And it's rare in a lifetime to meet very many people that have dedicated their life to community service. And she is one, and I am very, very proud to have served with her, and we'll miss her tremendously. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Is there anybody else here in City Hall who'd like to come up and speak during this public comment?
Just for clarification, is this our only opportunity to speak on this subject? Okay. I wasn't sure. I wasn't looking at an agenda, so I didn't want to speak out of turn.
Oh no.
Mayor, if
Oh.
I may suggest also, if some people may also want to speak after the proclamation, and I think
Okay.
that'd be okay as well.
Okay, thank you.
Jamie Labanco, Fiddletown. Thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening in memory of Councilmember Kleinfelter. When I sat down to prepare my words for this evening, I still hadn't moved past the point of being angry. Angry that she left this world at this time. Angry because, as many of you know, she was at the center of a mountain of critics at the time of her passing. Those critics, mostly Facebook warriors, who I am sure felt righteous in their criticisms at the time, no doubt feel a bit of regret about their tone, if not their actions and their words, now that she is gone. It was not uncommon over the years for me to see Valerie post a challenging city council meeting and she would tear up. She cared a lot, and she took these criticisms to heart. And although you sign up for these things when you put yourself in the political arena, when you are outspoken about your beliefs, Valerie couldn't help but sometimes wear her heart on her sleeve. It breaks me up a bit to think that her unexpected passing happened at a time when she no doubt felt misunderstood and perhaps hurt. I can hope that maybe out of her unexpected passing, this community might do a little gut check. A gut check to our community on how we treat each other. A reminder of what's truly important. A reminder that we can disagree, but we need not be disagreeable. We must remember the importance of civil discourse. That we not forget at the end of the day, we are neighbors. Valerie was an essential part of the fabric of this community. She was a friend. She was a ball buster. She was incredibly intelligent and brave. I wouldn't say she was a saint because doing so would fail to recognize her spirit, but she had nothing but good intentions when it came to serving this community. In my mind, she was a member of a very special club of hardworking, community-minded, selfless women who were willing to take some pretty good licks for what they believed in. Women like Marla Marino and Pat Shackleton. Valerie deserves to be remembered right alongside them for her strength of character and her contributions to this city. I can only hope to one day be just like them. In closing, I would like to acknowledge Valerie's unconditional love for her children. You would be hard-pressed to find another mother who was prouder of her children than Valerie. All of this other stuff paled in comparison to her love for them. I know, because I spent countless hours at Prospect Cellars listening to her go on and on about all of them over a glass of Barbera. I will miss those conversations. I will miss her friendship and her fantastic laugh. The Labanco family offers our condolences to her family and to this community at the loss of such a treasure for our town.
Is there anybody else here in City Hall who'd like to make public comment? And I will be reading the resolution, and then we'll have public comment after that too. So whenever anybody would like to come up.
Leonard Burns, Plymouth. I'm not real good at these times because I'm a little emotional person. That's why Valerie and I, you might have heard on our Zoom calls at the last part of my tenure where we were talking about things that were really passionate. And so you kind of hear us both kind of crying in our voices because we're both very passionate about local politics and people in general. And if I'm truth be told, I was never even going to be mayor. She kind of talked me into it between her and Keith. And I said I'd only do it if Valerie would sit to my immediate left, because she'd have to talk me through some of the nuances of being, running the meeting, because it's, I don't know if you guys know, but there's a lot of nuances to running a city council meeting, and, that was kind of, it was a little bit, I guess, overwhelming, I guess, a little intimidated. Valerie says, I got you. And so if you ever listen to some of the meetings, you would hear her speaking under her breath, and she's just giving me direction. And I'm really appreciative of her. And I grew up knowing her as John and Jeff's mom, and when she left, I knew her as my friend, And the one thing I want to say is it's a call to action that she had really for everybody, and it started, I guess, with me, as to be mayor. And the call to action is for the young people to be more involved. One of the things we always shout is talk about term limits, but term limits only work if more people are willing to get involved. And so the call to action, when I see young people here on the WebEx, I see some names that are really young, people coming up in our county. The message that she would want me to give to you guys is that get involved in your community. It's important. Thank you.
Thank you, Leonard. Is there anybody else in City Hall who'd like to come up and speak? Is there anybody on Zoom who has their hand raised and would like to speak during public comment? Okay. We've prepared a proclamation, and I'm honored to have the opportunity to read this proclamation in honor of Valerie Kleinfelter. Whereas the city of Plymouth, California, lost a respected civic leader, true public servant, and friend on September 22nd, 2023, with the passing of Council Member Valerie Kleinfelter. And whereas Council Member Kleinfelter was a tireless and passionate leader whose intelligence and tenacity positively impacted the city of Plymouth and surrounding community. And whereas Council Member Kleinfelter had an extensive public service career serving on the Plymouth City Council as council member between the years of 1994 and 2023, including 2 years as mayor in 1997 and 2022. And whereas Council Member Kleinfelter also contributed great leadership and insight for the city of Plymouth through her active involvement in city water rights, issues related to the Arroyo Ditch, as well as serving as the city's representative delegate for LAFCO, where she devoted her efforts on regional planning issues to improve the quality of life for Plymouth's residents. And whereas Councilmember Kleinfelter devoted over 25 years of service to her community, spearheading and championing various initiatives, including the designation of the city of Plymouth as an official Purple Heart City, establishing Highway 49 as a scenic corridor, and ensuring help for small businesses and stimulating local economic development. And whereas Councilmember Kleinfelter was committed to efforts to preserve and protect the local environment and the city's historical character and charm. And whereas Councilmember Kleinfelter's public service also included serving as the chair for multiple organizations, as well as holding positions of leadership with various councils. At the request of Secretary of Agriculture Tom Vilsack, Councilmember Kleinfelter participated in an event at the Brookings Institute, and at the request of the Obama administration, represented rural California in an economic roundtable at the White House. Therefore, be it proclaimed that the City of Plymouth hereby recognizes the many contributions of Councilmember Kleinfelter over the course of her distinguished career and her legacy of dedicated service to the city and surrounding community, and be it further proclaimed that the Plymouth City Council and the staff of the City of Plymouth do hereby extend our deepest condolences to Councilmember Kleinfelter's family and the many people she touched, and express the intention that the Plymouth City Council thereby confer on Councilmember Kleinfelter posthumously, in honor of her dedication and service to the City of Plymouth, the title of Honorable City Council Member Valerie Kleinfelter in memoriam. I'd like to now ask the council, my colleagues, if they'd like to make comments. Councilmember McLaughlin.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Obviously, this is very difficult. We have time for us as a council, as a city. I'm a newcomer to the council, and Valerie and I were continuing to get to know each other, to learn from one another, to grow. She's been a remarkable individual with countless years of dedication to our community, and obviously this doesn't come easy for any of us. I wish I could have been there in person this evening as a tribute to her, but I'm glad I'm able to be a part of this in recognizing, and thank you for reading a very beautiful resolution, Madam Mayor. So Godspeed to Valerie's family and close friends, and thank you for this opportunity.
Vice Mayor Sim.
I personally have only known Valerie for 3 years, much less than most of the people in this room. Valerie left us way too early. The 5 of us on council do not agree on all issues, but I can assure you, we all do the job for the right reasons. We love Plymouth. Valerie took city council very seriously as mayor and city council member for many years. Her presence on council will be missed. Thank you, Valerie, for all you've done for Plymouth.
I'm going to go next because I'd like Keith to have the opportunity to speak last. I also have only known Valerie for a short time. Leonard, I can relate to what you were saying. I was proud to serve as vice mayor when Valerie was mayor, and I've learned a lot from Valerie. And then when I had the honor of becoming mayor, there were plenty of times she would sit next to me and whisper and give me a nudge and prompt me on what to do next. And I'm going to miss that. I'm going to miss a lot of things. In the past week, and reading the proclamation and working on the proclamation with the rest of the folks here at City Hall, there are a lot of words that have been very complimentary words that have been used to describe Valerie. And I thought, I can't make it through the evening without describing Valerie as sassy. And I thought, I hope that doesn't offend anybody. And I really wondered, should I use the word or not? Because when I was a kid, that wasn't a good thing to be sassy. And so I decided to look it up. And nowadays it means lively, bold, and full of spirit. So I stand by my choice of words to describe Valerie as sassy. And my guess is that one day, a long time ago, maybe when she was a little girl, somebody said, Valerie, don't be so sassy. And I thank God she didn't listen. I also want to add that I did receive personal communication from Sheriff Redmond, who sends his sincere condolences to Valerie's family, to all of you. He said it was an honor to know Valerie personally and professionally, and he wanted to send his regrets for not being able to be here tonight. Councilmember White?
Well, all day long I sat and I didn't know if I wanted to write down what I wanted to say or if I just wanted to speak from the heart. Just because I think speaking from the heart comes out more sincere, but I definitely had a difficult time with this. The first thing, and I told Meredith this tonight, I felt honored to get to say my goodbyes to Valerie. So everyone knows I don't know of a memory of Valerie not being a person involved in my life because she's been around my whole life. I've been Valerie's neighbor for 12 years, and I actually been Valerie's neighbor longer than that if you consider our block a whole neighborhood. I've moved around the block a few times on Wheeler Loop before we bought our house. I could talk a lot about council and the things, but I'd rather talk about Valerie as a neighbor and how I knew that I fit in on the right neighborhood. When I moved in and I argued with my wife, I said, do not leave that garage door cracked open. Do not leave that garage door cracked open. And she always left the garage door kind of. I opened up the garage door and there was chickens and an old cat sitting on my drum throne. And they were Ron and Valerie's, and I went, okay, we're in the right neighborhood, you know. One of the proudest moments I think I saw is when you guys bought your trailer and you guys had it out in front of the house. And she wanted to show me where the grandkids' bunks were. She wanted to take me in, and I can't believe I'm staring at a young man that was one of those grandkids that was supposed to be in one of those bunks. Plymouth is community. Valerie was nothing but community. Valerie loved our community. I could say, well, shoot, we've had a lot of differences. There's no doubt about it. But we've always maintained to be neighborly towards each other. And it's always been a community. And I am going to miss her. I wish I had the video. I couldn't find it. I tried to find it. I had a video when we used to have the second generation dinners. And she was egging my wife on. She got my wife so tuned up drinking that night. And oh man, my wife had the biggest hangover the next day. And I will always remember that. I will always laugh about that one. So I just want to say she's going to be tremendously missed. Valerie, the work's not done. We got to get, I wish we could accomplish the work, but it's not done. And as far as differences go, hey, we're all going to have differences, but this is community. We're better than that. So that's pretty much what I have to say.
So I'd like to invite the public again to make sure, is there anybody else who would like to say something at this time? Doesn't look like there's anybody on Zoom. So I want to thank you all for being here tonight. I'm sorry.
I'd just like to let the family know where the flowers came from. The red, white, and blue flowers are from the city. The pink ones on the other end and the flowers on the table as you came in, the city staff chipped in, and those are from the city staff. The purple flowers came from the League of California Cities. And the city staff, if you don't want to take those with you, the city staff will deliver them to your home tomorrow. Mayor, also, if you'd like to present the proclamation to the family, we'd like to take a picture.
All right. Stay there. All the kids. I'd like to introduce Valerie's children, her greatest accomplishment. Jeff Campbell, owner of Campbell Construction. Katie Malcolm, currently mother. John Campbell, Director of Maintenance at Kirkwood PUD.
Electric propane project manager.
Okay. Dr. James Campbell, recently graduated from UC Davis. Clayton, Jeff's son, and Kevin Kleinfelder, Correctional Counselor at Mule Creek State Prison.
And you're Ron Kleinfelder.
Yeah.
And this is Ron Kleinfelder, Valerie's husband of 31 years. 33? Whatever. New Year's Eve.
December 29th,
Yeah.
1990.
New Year's.
Thank you.
So before we end tonight's meeting, I just want to say on behalf of the entire city of Plymouth and the community, we'd like to offer our sincere condolences to you, Ron, and to all of Valerie's family and friends and loved ones. We appreciate all of you who made time to come out tonight, and you'll be in our thoughts and prayers. And with that, the meeting is adjourned.